Hello everyone, I'm Extra Cheesy 87 and this is Let's Play Persona 4 Arena Part 17. In the previous video we got a little towards the end of Teddie's storyline. We'll probably finish things up here probably before the video is over, and then we'll get started on, I guess Naoto's up next. I keep running, but I still can't find Miss President. I just keep running to those invisible walls. I've run into so many of them now that I feel like they're my real enemy. Going face first into one really hurts. Even if I go slow with my hands in front of me, my face hits it first. It's just how I am. Yeah, I guess that's true. I think I'm gonna cry if I run into one more, but then... Alright, well, that's time to disconnect from the network. This feels familiar. My Teddie sense is smelling something.
Please, Teddie!
That's Rise-chan!
I'm so glad I made contact with you, but you better quiet down.
Oh, right.
I immediately zip my lips. My zipper is on my neck. I was making an analogy.
Rise-chan, are you back to being your old self again? Do you know who I am? Because I'm not that general.
Sure, I know who you are. I'm pissed about that knockoff bear using my voice, too. I'm so glad. Ever since this weird fake Teddie kidnapped me, I've been all alone. The others are fighting each other, too.
Oh my, she sounded angry for a second. My sexy voice must have soothed her nerves. She sounds so teary-eyed that she must have been pretty nervous. Looks like I've gotta save her too.
I'm sorry, Teddie. You must have heard some horrible things in my voice.
Even though it wasn't Rise-chan's fault, I guess she still feels bad about it. She snaps at me sometimes, but she's nice deep down. A true man would feign ignorance at times like these.
Not me, nope. Actually, it wasn't that different than usual.
What kind of person do you think I am?
Is she mad? Did I steer the conversation wrong? They do say a girl's heart is as fickle as a summer breeze. I better change the subject. So how about that watermelon?
By the way, Rise-chan, where are you?
In the announcement room. I got kidnapped by that general guy. He was watching me too close for me to use my persona.
Goodness gracious! He kidnapped Risette and locked her up to further his evil schemes! Grr, that pervert! He's an even worse guy than I thought! I wish I was in his shoes.
Hey, moron, what are you fantasizing about?
I can't help myself. Oh, but Rise-chan, is it okay for you to talk to me like this?
Is it okay for you to talk like that, Teddie? I mean, you just, you know... You said some kind of creepy shit, if we're being honest. I laughed, but still kind of creepy. Rise-chan says she finally got to use her persona when the general left the announcement room. And now she's contacting each of us to let us know that the general is the fake Teddie, and that Rise-chan we heard over the PA is a fake too. That was nice of her. What else I need to ask her?
Isn't the P1 Grand Prix still going on?
Yeah, it hasn't ended yet. Actually, Kanji seems to have gotten the wrong idea about it. He's going nuts.
Yeah.
I bet he fell for that manliest of all men line. It's not hard to see that happening with Kanji.
That seems ridiculous. That doesn't sound like my kanji.
I know, right? Seriously, that stupid Kanji.
I don't think that would happen. Honestly, the things I've been through, I don't know what to do about Kanji's harebrained antics anymore. Kanji's harebrained? What does that make Teddie? I guess he'd be bare-brained. I'm sorry. Even though she didn't ask, I can tell Rise-chan what's happened so far. Even though I thought she should know. Since I thought she should know. Everything about Miss President and how I've been working hard as her knight. And how I'm on my way to the announcement room to protect her too. Now that I say it out loud, I sound pretty cool. I am pretty cool, huh? Cool as a cummerbund. No comment.
Wow, sounds like you've been busy.
I can step up to the plate when I need to.
Yeah, it's because that girl is cute, isn't it? Anyway.
Rise-chan? Are you alright? Rise-chan!
The communication suddenly cuts out with a scream. Did the general come back? I won't forgive him if he does anything to Rise-chan. Wait, Does this mean I'm the hero here?
I can't stand around like this.
Oh.
Save Rise-chan and Miss President.
Oh, that's so nice. Oh, what a nice touch having the music start to play as soon as he realizes he's the hero of the story.
Rawr! This looks like a job for Teddie Man.
I'll protect Miss President and save Rise-chan like it's no big thing. A sweet life with girls fawning over me is just around the corner. Time for this knight to do his thing.
Sorry for the wait. I'm here to save the day.
This is when Kanji's already beaten up the entire universe. Wham! I don't think we've seen this background yet. I slam open the announcement room door like a hero with a colorful puff of smoke, or so I imagine anyway. I give a one-liner for my entrance. Whoa! Why is it all bloody and disturbing in here? In the announcement room, a place where you make announcements? What in the world could this be? Well, I'll put that aside for now. I need to take care of Miss President and Rise-chan. Oh, I can see their hearts were captivated by my amazing entrance. Huh? There's another girl here.
Teddie! She's that girl Shadow!
Rise-chan points to a girl who looks a lot like Miss President. She's pretty, but oh, I remember now. She reminds me of Ai-chan. Is that what Miss President wants to look like? Oops, gotta save that for later. I bust a cool move and point to the shadow.
So it was true.
Miss President's shadow was the culprit. I take some fancy steps and stand between the shadow and the girls to protect them. Man, that was cool, even for me. I'm so awesome. Now all that's left is to say my signature line.
Now that I'm here, you're not
Bear
gonna
Sona.
on these girls. Come and get.
No! You're not me!
Huh? What? Things are that far gone already?
Already the words of power? Yeah, we're going to, oh my god, it was so loud. Okay, I'm assuming that was the transformation. I probably should have actually looked to make sure it was the same cutscene, but I'm going to assume it was. And it turns into, oh, that's actually, different. We maybe should have watched that. Okay, what we could do is we can go back and watch it once we get to a save. Holy moly, a gigantic bull! It's huge! It's ginormous! Aren't I kind of small next to that?
That thing looks pretty strong.
Okay, that's a to be continued. We'll go back and see the cutscene real quick though, if we get the chance. We should be able to just load this and skip through the text. So that was actually much faster than I thought. And I will preemptively turn down my audio so I don't go fucking deaf. And unfortunately it is like the longest sequence. Okay, yeah, this is different.
Yes! The power!
Oh my god, it's actually still super loud, even with my audio turned way down. Okay, so we didn't miss too much, but I'm glad we thought to go back and see that though. So I guess it's Naoto now. If I'd known it, well, if I'd known it was gonna be that short, I probably would have just pushed through and finished the last video, but I think we were at like 50 something minutes, but let's see how the hell Naoto got involved in all this stuff.
What follows are my impressions of the organization called the Shadow Operatives, as well as their leader, Mitsuru Kirijo.
My fingers fly across the keyboard. My last case was special. I need to complete my report before I forget any important details. My name is Naoto Shirogane. I'm a detective. Shirogane family has been working as detectives for generations. Though I'm young and still in high school, I have been given the opportunity to take on several cases and have built up experience as a detective. My work has earned me some trust, as every so often the police will come to me for my assistance. After the story begins, a sudden request from the Inaba Police Department. That was about a month ago, early April. Last summer, I received a request from the prefectural police to come to the town of Inaba. A bizarre series of murders was occurring. A corpse would turn up every morning after a foggy night. In the end, it turned out to be the most difficult case of my career. It's been about 2 weeks since that case was closed. Now, from the public's viewpoint, 4 months have passed since the crimes were stopped. The culprit has been arrested and prosecuted. Peace is returned, but when it comes a depressing proposition. I'm not unwilling to help the police again, but my involvement with the previous case is not something I'd like to go through again. To be completely honest, that particular case was no simple series of murders. During the course of my investigation, I obtained a supernatural power known as my persona, making me more than just a detective. I collaborated with other persona users and became directly involved with the events of the case. One thing led to another, and before you know it, we had killed God. Come on, you knew it was coming. Of course, if I were to tell this to the police, it would be treated as nonsense. Worst case scenario, I would be discredited. Having to leave out those details while explaining the events of the case is more than a little nerve-wracking and feels like lying, but there you have it. While on my way to the police department for this new case, I go through a list of possible questions and answers I would need. Something's different today, though. After greeting the receptionist, I'm not led to the usual dull meeting room. Instead, I'm taken to a reception area on the top floor. A leather-trimmed sofa, a curved wooden table. A Nouveau-rich setting. Riche.
Looks like this may take some time.
Where's the sofa? If this was just going to be paperwork and basic questioning, they wouldn't have brought me to this special room. Is it a new case? I have to wait several minutes before someone comes to speak with me. When the door finally opens, a man wearing a suit, not fitting the uniform of a local officer, walks in.
I'm sorry about the wait.
Kinda interesting you get your own portrait. He hands me his card.
Allow me to introduce myself.
His card has a lengthy title, National Police Agency Security Bureau, Security Planning Division. The MPASBCSPPD for short, of course. I was shocked. They're more commonly known as the Public Safety Police. The Security Planning Division is the command center for the departments that handle terrorist threats, coup d'etat plots, and foreign affairs. The Secret Police also belong to this group. Oh yeah, the Secret Police. Oh, everyone loves the Secret Police. But why would a person of such importance come all the way to a rural locale like this? I look him in the eyes. He appears to be measuring me up.
I see you're enough on the ball that you don't need a lengthy introduction. Good.
Without any further talk, the man gets to his point.
Have you heard of the Kirijo group?
Maybe.
I doubt there are many who haven't.
I'll get right to the point.
I think you overestimate the amount of people that actually play Persona 3. I'm joking. Persona 3 is really good.
You need a corporation quietly investigated. Why me? I don't see what I can do that your own department cannot.
I would agree if shadows and personas weren't involved.
Am I supposed to know who this dude is? Like, I can't remember if he's like a side character from Persona 3 or not. I don't know. It's been way too fucking long. This time I'm unable to hide my surprise. But the man continues, because he almost looks kind of familiar. But the man continues, either failing to see or purposely ignoring my reaction.
One summer 12 years ago, there was an explosion at the Kirijo-owned Tatsumi Port Island, killing over 50 people. You would have been very young at the time.
I've reviewed that case. The official explanation was that a gas main leaked during a construction project. Afterwards, though, a bizarre rumor saw quite a bit of circulation.
The mass media noticed that there was a suspiciously large number of researchers amongst the casualties. They floated the theory that the official explanation was a lie, and that the explosion was really caused by some dubious experiment.
No concrete evidence was ever found to support those claims, though. As I recall, the matter was left unsettled. Some may still remember the incident, though I don't think many could recall the finer points.
Those rumors were all true.
His voice becomes firm.
What?
Those researchers under Koetsu Kirijo, the old Kirijo group manager, were working on harnessing the power of shadows. The experiment went awry, and they lost control of the shadows. That's what caused the explosion.
Experiments using shadows. They lost control? Are you saying the shadows flooded the city? The real world?
I can't speak to that. There was no way of getting hard answers back then. No one took the spooky stories seriously. But that accident got the government and the police's attention, though they didn't launch an investigation until a year or two ago.
Yeah, just let the high school students handle it. That couldn't be helped. Law can only preside over the world as we know it. Things that can't be explained can't be governed.
Only those in the Kirijo group know exactly what happened and how much of the aftermath was dealt with.
The aftermath.
Oh, something about God being killed? That word has a bad ring to it. It brings to mind a cover-up of some dark secret.
Their cleanup efforts continued until quite recently. They were using some method known only to them, entirely behind our backs. We think they've been conducting illegal activities in the 10 years since then, while hiding behind their cleanup efforts.
And you wish for me to confirm this?
Not only do you have a relationship with us, you have a persona and extensive experience in the field.
We're not gonna ask the, question about how he knows all this?
We can't think of a better candidate.
And since I'm not directly affiliated with the police, if I were to be caught in a trap, it wouldn't lead back to you.
If that's the way you want to put it.
My reply was meant to be sarcastic, but this conversation is exceptionally draining. I must applaud public safety. They know everything about anybody they choose to investigate. There's no point in trying to bargain with them. He continues explaining indifferently, as if able to sense my resignation.
Last year, in conjunction with the Kirijo group, we established an unofficial department in the force, nicknamed the Shadow Operatives.
And that's a big coat. So, I mean, I think hat, that's probably Junpei, right? I can't really tell you anybody else is supposed to be. I'm guessing that's Mitsuru. And everyone else, I got no clue. Like what their silhouettes are supposed to be?
It's a special unit capable of dealing with shadow-related cases.
This is news to my ears. That's a rather bold move. You went so far as to join forces with the ones you suspect of illicit activities?
That's exactly why we did it. We must keep a leash on them by integrating them into the system.
But the police are far behind information-wise. Officially, you are higher on the chain of command, but less so in practice.
Try throwing out a theory as I begin to get a grasp on what's taking place. The man didn't so much as flinch, but he didn't give me much of an answer either.
You'd need some leverage to keep your hold on them. Thus, this secret investigation. What exactly do you want me to do?
That will depend on your answer.
So, that's their game plan. I figured as much. An organization as big as the Kirijo group is hiding the secret about shadows. Now, should I take the job or not? As a person with persona abilities, I'm naturally interested in learning how much is known about the shadows. And this job could potentially give me leverage over the government in the future. While I'm deep in thought, the man continues as if he can read my mind.
If you think we're hiring you to further our organization, you're mistaken.
Can't help but look up at the obvious change in his tone.
Our sources say it's possible that they've been talking students from a Kirijo-owned school into doing their dirty work. They've been pleading ignorance while making ordinary kids clean up whatever messes they've left. And that we don't forgive.
Kind
We're
of
supposed to be upholding
interesting.
the law. We can't overlook things like this.
Kind of like the way they're looking at it. Because I mean, I can kind of see that viewpoint. He's surprisingly sincere. He's staring right at me. Unlike before, his eyes are strong and bold. He truly doesn't want anyone innocent to suffer. Of course, this could be an act to convince me, but even then, I do agree with that opinion. All that remains is to find out Kirijo's intentions.
All right. In that case, I accept. Though I don't plan on abandoning my school life here. I'll do what I can to help, but only within those limits.
I would never have dictated conditions like this before. The reason I had come to this town and transferred to Yasogami High School was for my investigation. But the school life and the dear friends that I've gained have become irreplaceable to me. It may sound childish to demand that I stay with my friends, but if they refuse to budge in that regard, that's that. However,
That's fine with us.
he accepts my condition almost too easily. He then immediately begins to explain the details of the case. It's because he knows about the power of anime friendship.
At the end of this month, the Kirijo group is airlifting some special cargo. Kirijo has asked our help in making sure the cargo is transported safely. We'd like you to accompany them as a police observer.
What do they mean, transported safely?
A police escort, assurance of no public investigation if any unforeseen situation were to arise. Things like that.
Oh, yeah, so totally normal.
Of course, if anything does happen, we will hold them responsible.
And what is this special cargo?
It's something to do with the shadow research. They've admitted that much, but we don't know the exact details.
So maybe they're transporting Labris and she broke out somehow?
According to our research, it's most likely something from the old ergonomics research laboratory, classified as risk level 4. In other words,
not risk
even
level
though it's
4.
sealed up tight, it's extremely dangerous.
They even have a risk scale for things like this? It seems that Kirijo's research goes into a variety of different things.
Also,
as I'm thinking, the man slides a photograph to me. Oh, that coat is too much. It's a beautiful young lady. Her eyes show a strong will, as striking as her blazing red hair. That hair reminds me of something. I may have seen her picture while going through the documents regarding the Port Island incident. Of course, the girl in those pictures was much younger.
this woman will be on that flight. Her name is Mitsuru Kirijo.
Kirijo.
She's the oldest daughter of the Kirijo family, Koetsu Kirijo's granddaughter. It was he who devised the experiments 12 years ago. You should know that she's also a powerful persona user.
Even if her decision-making skills aren't very good. Oh yeah, I'm gonna heal myself instead of the main character. Oh wait, they're dead. Oh no, we gotta restart the whole fucking dungeon. A persona user besides us. I was suspecting something like this, but to hear it out loud is still shocking. But there are persona users other than those involved in the case last year.
We believe she took the lead in gathering students 3 years ago.
Yeah, but
She
they
was
never had to
still
go
in
into the
high
damn
school.
TV, so do they really count?
We'd like you to first go to her residence and meet with her.
All right.
I'm sure you figured out by now, since she's a high-ranking Kirijo group official and a persona user, but she's a shadow operative. She's member number 1, the general manager. And not because she's a Kirijo, but because she has the abilities to back it up. Can you do this? If she's dirty, then this won't be easy for you.
I already accepted your assignment, so I must simply make the best of it.
I offer my hand. He has the firm grip of someone who's worked on the front lines of the law. This is a very interesting opening sequence, though. A few days later, I receive a message informing me that the transport is to be on the 1st of May. It's on a school day, but since I've taken the job, there's nothing I can do about it. In fact, I should be glad that this didn't overlap with the extended holiday. I haven't heard the details, but I expect to have some important arrangements during Golden Week. Arrangements to reunite with my upperclassman, Yu Narukame, who is the leader of our group during last year's incident. I keep thinking about our reunion. It's only been 2 weeks since he left, but it feels much longer. I suppose that goes to show how much I'm looking forward to it. But I'm going off track. I need to think about my new job, so I hastily pull myself together. It's also nice to see some entirely new story stuff going on, since while I do kind of enjoy seeing the same story from multiple perspectives and the small changes that all the other characters had, it is nice to have something kind of completely different. May 1st, the cargo is due to be transported from a laboratory near the Kirijo mansion. I make my way to the mansion to present myself and end up accompanying the security detail. The limousine is incredibly long. Apparently, it isn't all that rare for the upper class in other countries to ride in cars this large, but it's downright comical on the tiny roads of Japan. That was where I met Mitsuru Kirijo in person.
Nice to meet you. My name is Naoto Shirogane. I'll be acting as an observer today.
And then she shoots him.
I've been
or
told
shoots
about
her.
you. It's nice meeting you as well. I'm Mitsuru Kirijo.
Her beauty is enough to attract anyone's attention. She was so much less imposing than in the
I
picture.
didn't expect the police's observer to be so young.
Does that bother you?
No. I didn't mean to downplay your abilities. Forgive me.
And take a look at Kirijo-san's face. She's the only daughter of the founding family, but it's still been 2 years since she renounced the practice of the Kirijo group being run by the family. In other words, she's simply the CEO's daughter now, not the heir to the company. She must be used to constant stress being a female leader at such a young age. Getting people to acknowledge her must have been a struggle. I don't need to mince my words in dealing with types like her. I decided to cut to the chase.
Tell me, what are the contents of your cargo?
I'm ashamed to have to admit this, but since the original researchers have passed away, we don't know what's in it either. We can't allow the worst-case scenario for such an item to come to pass in the middle of a city. That's why we plan to transfer these items to a distant facility according to their indicated risk level.
A natural decision. Her posture, her actions, if that was all an act, I must commend her for her ability to deal with the unexpected. But personally, my impression is that she's a trustworthy person. Before leaving, I had a chance to see the Kirijo mansion. I have to say, it's surprisingly simple. Oh yeah, it's simple. It's a simple mansion. It's like, it's just kind of like low-key. Felt as though it was prioritizing function and efficiency over meaningless luxury, perhaps a reflection of her own personality? At any rate, her intelligence and presence are proof enough of her upbringing. Okay, we get it, Mitsuru's cool. They're like, no, like, she's like really cool. No, you don't get it. She's like super cool. If she was hiding something, it would be hard to figure out.
And I'll stay near the cargo along with the police escort. I'll contact you immediately if anything happens.
All right. If anything is unclear to you, feel free to ask me.
Her eyes look straight at me, and I feel like she could see through anything. I end our conversation shortly after and quietly wait for us to arrive. I don't think it really matters. We save over. The limousine, transport truck, and multiple security cars reach the airport without any incident. Can we, like, wash the plane? It looks a little dusty. The cargo may be dangerous, but according to the records, it was kept safely in storage for the past 10 years. Plus, it's worthless to the average person. Because of this, the people involved in the security don't look tense. Kirijo-san hands her servant her travel bag. It's almost as if she's simply going on vacation.
Yakushima. Huh.
The plane's destination is one of the southern islands. I'm sure it'd be fun to go with everyone. A beach vacation? I realize what I'm thinking and have to laugh to myself. A year ago, I never would have considered that would be fun to spend time with others. But I can't help but think that way now. Soon they'll begin moving the cargo out of the truck. I clear my mind of daydreams and look back to the truck. They pass through the gate for the large cargo shipments. The shipment is in imposing metal cases, but among all the other shipping containers, it doesn't attract much attention from the airport staff. Okay, so it is Lapras. Not long for the final case is unloaded from the truck. It's obviously different from the rest. It's covered in what seems to be heavy industrial grade steel. About 1 meter wide and broad and 2.5 meters tall. Seems like something very special is in there, but even if someone was targeting the shipment, it would be impossible to steal that. 4 men in suits I don't know if it'd be impossible. 4 men in suits slowly tip the case sideways to place it on the cart. Seeing on its side reminds me of something. It looks like a coffin. The moment I realize that, a shiver runs down my spine. It does look big enough for a person to lie down in. Could there really be someone inside? Could it be that this tight security is not to prevent theft, but to keep the cargo from escaping? No, how can I imagine things like this without any proof? I shake my head to clear it of these pointless thoughts. Am I just shaken because I heard this has something to do with shadows? Eventually the check-in process is complete and the announcement to begin boarding echoes through the airport. I relax a little, relieved that nothing has happened up to this point. Once the plane takes off, the only thing in our way is the sky. I put on an earpiece tuned to the police radio to keep up with the current situation. So far, nothing was out of the ordinary. Kirijo-san's group finished checking in and had boarded the plane. The cargo should be loaded soon enough. After I supervise that, I'll check in and... Suddenly an urgent voice jumps onto the broadcast.
Aircraft squawk code has changed to 7500.
7,500.
That means nothing to me. I have trouble mentally shifting gears after the long period of inactivity. I never imagined I would hear that number with my own ears.
7,500? A hijacking?
Yeah, okay, thanks for the exposition, Naoto. It's actually appreciated. Is the plane I'm investigating being hijacked? That can't be a coincidence. Could this have been set up by the police or the Kreijo group? No, there's no benefit for either of them to get involved with the general public. So if that's the case...
Is it the cargo they want?
There really is someone after the cargo. Wait, if they're after the cargo, why hijack the plane? If they're not trying to steal the cargo, would they be after Kreijo-san? No, that doesn't feel right. Hijacking isn't an efficient method to carry out a kidnapping, or an assassination. If they have the time and resolve to pull this off, they would be far better off trying to take over the plane mid-flight. Can't figure out their objective. Why would they do something that attracts so much attention? Attention? This is a very peculiar time to attempt a takeover of the plane. Oh, this is the plane thing that we heard about, at the start of the other storylines. They always mention something about a hijacking. Very peculiar indeed. Hijacking before departure forfeits the biggest benefits of hijacking. But at the same time, all normal airport operations will come to a halt while everyone turns their focus on the plane in question. The airport will naturally stop loading baggage onto the plane while this hijacking goes on. It's the perfect distraction. So they are after the cargo.
If that was the case, the hijacking is only a decoy. But would they really risk their lives hijacking a plane over one piece of cargo?
If they're hijacking the plane, why are you just standing here? As I scan the area from my viewpoint up in the boarding area. I see a van that had been parked near the cargo area suddenly peel out. A suspicious departure at this time? I have a bad feeling about this. The cargo was just unloaded right in front of my eyes. I didn't see anyone steal it. Hold on. The 4 men in suits with the handcart. I don't see them. I lost track of them in the rush of the activity after the hijack call. I grind my teeth and interrupt the radio call.
This is 002, over. A suspicious vehicle is leaving the scene. Stay in pursuit. It's a large vehicle, about 2 tons. License plate...
Yo, what's the license plate? Come on, Naoto. It's a real one, right? I hear someone confirm with Roger, but there's shouting and confusion going on in the background. I'm unsure if my intentions have been understood. I run across the airport by myself. I need to grab hold of these people's tail, even if only to get a few hairs. Of course, there's no way that I can catch a vehicle on foot, but I have a plan. I run down the escalator and bolt for the passenger pickup area at the arrivals lobby. I look around outside and there it is, just as I thought. A suspicious vehicle was coming this way. The airport's road layout is a loop. After leaving the departure lobby, cars must take a turn and curve back around to the arrival lobby before being able to reach the surface streets. I hide in the crowd and wait for the van to get close. And as it passes by, I throw a small, sticky lump. Luckily for me, it strikes and sticks low on the van's side. There's a compact transmitter in there. You'd have to be pretty close to pick up the signal, but it's better than nothing. I take my hat off and wipe my forehead. The pedestrians around me begin to stir. Everyone stops and stares at their smartphones. I didn't need to look, I knew. The first news of the hijacking is hitting the media. I put my hat back on and pull the brim low. I'll have to be careful not to let all the information flying about confuse me. I keep my guard up as I quickly walk back to the departure lobby. Also, like, the smartphones line is just kind of funny because, you know, the original Persona 4 was set in 2011 but came out in like 2008. So, development would have been before smartphones were even close to a thing. But this game was made closer to 2012, which is when it's set, where smartphones are a thing, even though you would have never even heard anything similar to that in the original Persona 4. I don't know, it's just kind of like a very funny little quirk of the timeline of the games in development. Another 45 minutes pass without any more clear information coming through. There's chaos on the radio and people are in a panic. But after an hour, the confusion suddenly stops and a shocking report comes
All
in.
personnel on scene. The suspects have been apprehended. The hijacking is over. I repeat.
They dealt with it so soon?
Though some passengers were ill, there were no casualties. As far as I know, the hijackers didn't even make any demands. Not hard to think the police could have negotiated with them. Or it's hard to think. But on the other hand, there's no indication that the special assault team had stormed the plane. Did the group surrender now that their decoy objective was complete?
What's going on here?
Just then a radio call came in directly for me.
Operator to 002, over. The hijacking has been dealt with, but the transfer must be cancelled. The whereabouts of one piece of cargo cannot be confirmed. All indications are that it has been stolen.
Then that vehicle earlier. Are you still in pursuit?
We're tracking it through the end system. Head to the guest room immediately so we can discuss our response.
It looks like my call to report that suspicious van had been a mistake.
Understood.
Okay, well, I'm going to pause for a second and be right back. Alright, we're back. Soon after the involved parties were gathered in the conference room, Rijo-san and the police are talking hurriedly. A good number of this quickly put together team are not aware of the confidential nature of this matter. I imagine things won't be proceeding so smoothly. At any rate, the van on the run can be tracked through the in system. The hijackers were handed over to the airport police, while those of us who knew the truth about the cargo were moved to one of our buildings.
That was a very tidy operation. I had thought it would take at least half a day.
To put it delicately, we had someone with special abilities handling this.
I'm guessing that's Fu? Maybe Fuka was doing something? I don't know, man.
And again, though we prevented any harm from coming to the hostages, we lost the cargo.
Special abilities in regard to what? Hey, take at least half a day. Had someone's special abilities handling this. Yeah, I don't know who exactly that's referring to. I mean, it could just be Akihiko beat everyone up.
Nothing for it, I suppose.
That could also work.
Who would have expected an entire hijacking to cover up the theft of some cargo?
Because I was thinking at first they were talking about tracking the vehicle, which, you know, makes me think Fuka in terms of, like, you know, special tracking stuff, but...
I must apologize to you as well. I was the closest at hand when it happened.
No, you did more than enough. It's thanks to your sharp eyes that we're able to track the suspicious vehicle now. I'm impressed that you realized in all the chaos that the cargo was the true target. You even spotted their getaway truck.
Thank you. Our next step should be to interrogate the suspects in custody and...
Sadly, it won't be that simple. I haven't heard much yet, but it seems they're having unexpected difficulties with the interrogation. It will take some time.
If they were prepared to risk their lives for this operation, I suppose they won't break so easily.
We made an error in judgment. We were too focused on preventing the item itself from doing any damage.
But since they targeted something so unusual, that should narrow down the suspect pool.
I can't deny it's possible that someone connected to the Kirijo group is behind this. Thank you for your assistance, Shirogane. I'm sorry to have involved you in this mess, but the professionals will take it from here.
Professionals? In other words, she plans to investigate this herself as a shadow operative.
Does that mean my work here is done?
I'm afraid so. We do value your cooperation.
This is a bit of a pickle. The Kirijo group and the police want to keep this under wraps, that is, they cannot open a public investigation. On top of that, the shadow operatives are technically an organization working for the police, so there's no room for freelancers here. It means there's no need for me to be involved in the investigation any further. Insisting to stay on this case would only draw attention. With no other choice, I decided to take my leave. It must have been chaos at the office. Despite the unusual events, the man who hired me has not yet gotten in touch. I entertained the thought of returning home to Inaba, but luckily enough, I've brought enough luggage for a short trip out of town. I decided to stay the night at a business hotel near the airport and wait a while for my client to contact me. Time passes. At 9 o'clock, I finally receive a phone call from the man.
Things have taken an unexpected turn. This case is under the jurisdiction of the Shadow Operatives now.
That will make it very difficult to continue my secret investigation.
But right now, you're the only one we have who's gotten that close. We heard you earned Kirijo's trust after the hijacking. We'd like you to keep up your investigation. We're currently making arrangements for you to pick it up again in a natural way.
What are you gonna have me do? I will not act as a spy.
I'll be in touch later.
I mean, come on, they'd probably let Naoto join if she wanted to. I mean, they let like a little tiny kid and a dog join their gang. Naoto could probably... Yeah, there's a much lower barrier to entry of joining the Persona 3 gang than the Persona 4 gang. I sigh. I feel a weight in my heart. This is a high possibility of turning into a private investigation from the shadows. Pretty much a polite way of saying corporate espionage. If I'm to take on this job, I need to have some sort of plan. At any rate, I cannot plan my movements without knowing how the situation is progressing. It would be far better prepared for tomorrow instead of getting worked up with the worry. I read the newspaper and watch some of the TV coverage of today's events, then go to bed early. The day passes, and even by the night of May 2nd, the man has not contacted me again. It seems the police are having trouble zeroing in on the suspicious vehicle. Considering the skill with which the crime is pulled off, I wouldn't be surprised if that van had been dumped somewhere and the cargo loaded onto another vehicle. Going through all the possibilities is just a way to kill time. But it's the only thing I had to do. Nothing happened until the sky began to darken as the sun went down. My phone finally rang. But surprisingly, the name on the screen brought a smile to my face.
Yes, Shirogane speaking.
Hi, Naoto-kun? Oh, I'm not interrupting your work, am I?
No, it's
Where have I heard
quite
this
all right.
conversation before?
Sorry to call so late. I wanted to at least give it one more shot about tomorrow.
That's right, so much has been happening that I completely forgot the school holidays start tomorrow. And of course, we're supposed to have our reunion with Yu Senpai when he visits from the city tomorrow. I was supposed to be able to meet up with them. I didn't imagine that I'd be stuck here for 3 days, thanks to the attempted hijacking at the airport. But since I've undertaken the job, I have obligations and I can't just abandon. I'm starting to actually feel some anger towards whoever the culprits are.
I'm sorry, but it seems I still won't be able to make it. I'm actually not in Inaba at the moment, to be honest.
Oh, yeah, you mentioned that. Oh, then I guess you can't check even if it rains.
Even if it rains?
Oh, nothing. Just talking to myself.
Yay! What was
It's
that?
okay, Naoto-kun. I know there are people who'll be in trouble without you. You need to stay there and help them out.
Yes, well,
Help them out, huh? It irritates me to know what I'm going to do is pretty much spy
it
work.
really is a shame. Give my regards to Senpai and the others, won't you?
Will do. Good luck with the job.
I hang up the phone, seeing my dear senpai again. I feel that's much more important than a job with an uncertain outcome, and I feel a little sad that I'm going to miss it. Oh, maybe I should just turn the case down and make a surprise visit
I
tomorrow.
wonder if any train would make it in time.
But it looks like the case is not about to let me leave. After my talk with Chie-san, I began to prepare for bed. And that's when the public safety official called me again.
It seems we may be back on for the secret investigation. Mitsuru Kirijo just requested our cooperation. We agreed. A detective by the name of Kurosawa will be heading out tomorrow. We want you to accompany him to the rendezvous point.
When I ask about this Kurosawa fellow, I receive an unanticipated answer. Apparently, he had helped Kirijo-san's activities on his own while he was a constable. Even though his superiors didn't understand what Kirijo-san was up to, he followed his own instincts and helped her to protect his town. Normally he would be punished for this, but the situation took a 180-degree turn thanks to the establishment of the Shadow Operatives. His knowledge has been invaluable, and rather than being disciplined, he has been promoted to plainclothes detective.
Kurosawa is willing to leak you whatever info he learns about the Kirijo group through his cooperation with them.
I'm surprised he agreed to that. Hasn't he assisted Kirijo-san and her group in the past?
I'm afraid that's something you'll have to ask him about, although he seems to have his own agenda.
So there's a spy that's spying to give information to Naoto who's not a spy, but like, couldn't they just have him tell the public safety office what he knows instead of having Naoto act as a go-between? I confirmed several other details before ending the call. Detective Kurosawa. If he's working with the Kirijo group, it could be something of a problem. But if they have information to leak, that means they must have located the vehicle in question. Still, considering how long it took them to find it, I may be in for a long trip. Where am I going to be sent now? I shrugged to myself. May I save the game? No? Okay. The next day, May 3rd. I meet with Detective Kurosawa. I expected someone who looked shadier, but the man appeared hardworking and honest.
I'm Kurosawa.
I'm Naoto Shirogane. Thank you for your assistance.
I've heard rumors about you, Ace Detective. Let's get going.
We make our greetings brief, and I get into the Detective Kurosawa's car. I vaguely think I remember you? I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. A lot of Persona 3 is a fucking blur to me. I remember like the beginning section fairly well. The middle, complete, total void of knowledge, and then I remember the ending. A private investigation, a location I have no knowledge or prior experience of. This is a depressing job in the first place, and the addition of more and more unknown variables is only making me more displeased with it.
You seem pretty listless.
That expression on Naoto is something else.
Oh no, I'm fine. Where are we headed, by the way?
The place where they found the getaway car from the hijacking. A town called Inaba. It's a small place with an odd history. They just had a bizarre serial murder case there last year.
Really?
Inaba?
I can't stop the surprise from showing in my voice.
That's your hometown, right? Isn't that why they're sending you?
I'm at a loss for words, but Detective Kurosawa continues instead of waiting for me to
The
reply.
request I got from the Shadow Operatives was to assist in gathering information about those murders. They want me to meet with a supervising detective of that case and ask him for the full story. Not only are they part of public safety, they're an unofficial
Because didn't they say
unit.
that,
They can't come to the district police for information.
like back in U storyline that Ojima had to stay late or something?
Why him? Is his case related to the robbery in some way?
Public safety is sharper than you might think. They do basic reviews on all cases to see if shadows were involved. Inaba is on their watch list now. And with that cargo being brought there, they naturally suspect a connection between the cases.
There is a connection, then it might be related to our case. I begin to have ominous thoughts and my expression darkens. Detective Kurosawa doesn't probe into that topic. Perhaps he's the type of person who doesn't judge people based on the evidence, but gets a feel for them through conversation and actions. How am I reflected in his eyes? Can't help but wonder. It's a lot of TVs. It's a big one too. Naoto, be careful, don't fall in. Detective Kurosawa goes inside the Inaba police station while wait in the car near the junkyard. Familiar sights of Inaba seem strange somehow. The detective in charge of this case must be none other than Dojima-san. Detective Ritaro Dojima? Of course, I am familiar with him. And not just through our profession. Dojima-san acted as Yu-senpai's guardian while he stayed in Inaba. I feel like I'm betraying him as well and can't stop myself from sighing again. Soon enough, Detective Kurosawa steps out of the station. I thought he was coming back, but halfway to the car, he turns around and walks into the junkyard. I wonder what he's doing. I stick my head out the window and try to track him. There's another car parked behind a pile of junk. That distinctive grill style. That's Kirijo-san's limousine. I hurriedly pull my head back into the car. That's right, Detective Kurosawa came here to cooperate with the Kirijo-san. But still, to bring me along and park so close to her is... Then again, it's very unnatural to park far from a rendezvous point. Detective Kurosawa made the right decision. I calm down and slide into the rear seat, keeping my head low. Still. Kirijo-san uses that black limousine while undertaking her shadow operative duties as well. That car sticks out like a sore thumb here in Inaba. Heck, it's distinctive anywhere in Japan. Why would someone as clever as Kirijo-san take that car on a special mission like this? Does she have some profound reasoning behind it? After a while, Detective Kurosawa finally comes back to the car.
Kurosawa-san, may I ask you something? Why are you working with public safety?
You're asking that now? I thought that would be your very first question.
After wiping a dry smile from his face, Detective Kurosawa turns to me with incredibly serious expression.
You can spy on Mitsuru Kirijo and her shadow operatives to your heart's content and never find anything suspicious. But for that to be understood, at some point or another, everything she does has to be investigated to eliminate those doubts. In which case, it's better someone like you do the investigating than someone official who will never understand. That's all there is to it.
Okay, I mean, that kind of makes sense. So he does have his reasons after all.
Thank you for your cooperation.
I'll leave the rest in your hands.
I exit the vehicle. Kurosawa-san takes his car onto the highway and speeds out of sight. He has no doubts whatsoever regarding Kirijo-san's activities. To be honest, I'm inclined to agree with him. But I can't jump to conclusions without any evidence. I use heaps of junk as cover to sneak close to the limousine and watch. Not long after, I see two people exit the vehicle. One of them is Kirijo-san. However, unlike when I saw her at the airport, she's wearing equipment likely suited for combat. The other person looks strange.
Is that the fabled humanoid weapon?
There was an information about a humanoid weapon mixed in with all the data I had about the Kirijo group. When I first saw it, I was confused. That had to be what's standing in front of me. It seems natural, almost lifelike, but there's no denying that it's an artificial construct. It seems that the rumors of an unorthodox anti-shadow unit were true. Wait till she hears about the fucking dog. Another man comes to join them soon. He too was dressed in outlandish attire. He was shirtless and wore a red cloak like a desert nomad. A perfect example of someone who ought to be detained for questioning. I compare his face to the list of pictures of the people involved with the situation. While his taste in clothing has changed, I believe that this man is Akihiko Sanada. I can't imagine what would possess him to go about dressed like that, but I mean, at least they clown on him for, like, you know, when the characters dress dumb, they, like, get clowned on. I speculate about their actions. What business do they have here in a junkyard? There's nothing here but a pile of broken household electronics and abandoned televisions. Yeah, and a big one. Then it hits me. Detective Kurosawa had told Kirijo-san about last year's incident. And of course she has prior knowledge of personas and shadows. Then no doubt she's heard of the idea of entering the TV world. After all, it appears many times in the testimony of the killer from last year. Ojima-san may have disregarded it for being too far-fetched, but Detective Kurosawa must have caught on. And take a closer look, there's a mountain of old television sets. Victims of last year's switch to digital broadcasts.
They're not planning to enter a TV from here, are they?
Even as I say that, the mechanical girl already has her hand sticking into a TV screen. It's exactly as I thought. The mere fact that they are testing what they heard so recently cannot bode well. Uncertainty crossed my mind. The three of them are clearly preparing to enter the television. Did I blow my cover and warn them about what they're doing? If they enter, they may not be able to leave. But the other world should no longer be dangerous anymore. And I heard from Yosuke-senpai that he'd asked Teddie to leave the exit TV out just in case. If they're Persona users, they should be able to handle the shadows. They shouldn't be in any peril, but we just made a decision faster than I could. Oh, it's so loud!
The other members will wait here in the car.
Yeah. If we all barge in and something happens, we'll be devastated.
Now that you mention it, at least one of us should be staying behind as well.
I am not staying.
Us three will be plenty. We'll end this in a flash. No problem.
The
Yo,
same
please
as
wear a damn
always.
shirt.
Although, we have no idea what might be waiting for us on the other side. Don't get careless.
Right.
This situation, it brings back memories.
How you gonna get all solemn when you're running around in a cape?
Ready!
In just a cape. So when they say other people will stay behind, does that mean everyone else is just chilling in the damn car?
Why enter the TV? What's going on?
I really wanted to like save it. I didn't really mean for this video to go so long, but I'm trying to get to a save. Because the problem is that if you don't enter to save, and you like click, because I'm only recording this one video of this series today. And if you don't enter to save, then you have to like load the previous bookmark, and it won't let you quick skip through it until you actually finish it. So then you have to like manually go through all the dialogue without it fast forwarding, and it takes forever, which is what I had to do earlier for Teddie's thing.
Is the stolen cargo inside the TV?
Oh, it's so quiet now. Should I chase after them? If I turn back here, we may never be able to find the three of them again. And if that happens, the truth about the case will be lost forever. If our property was placed into the TV world, it means that whoever stole it knows the truth about last year's events. And if that's the case, then I can't ignore this, no matter what what my assigned task is. Plus,
if they're determined to enter the TV despite not knowing the risks, I can hardly allow cowardice to prevent me from following.
I realize that the straw breaking the camel's back is not logic, but my pride. I smiled at myself. But my mind was made up. I stand up, look around, then step inside the same television they used. Alright, so we will call it here. And next time, we will continue with Naoto's story. The opening, pretty cool. Got a lot of new information. Feels like we kind of have a better picture of the overall plot now. I mean, a lot of it's stuff that we kind of could assume. You know, the idea that Labrys had escaped. Well, it seemed more like at first that she had escaped and they were trying to track her down, but it's that she's been stolen by some other group, which we know there was like a third party involved just because of, you know, Rise getting kidnapped and stuff like that, but you still don't really know what that's all about, but we'll learn as we progress through the rest of the story. I'm Extra Cheese 87. Stay tuned for the next part. And bye, guys.